Hi everyone, I'm Noctis Kyrios, and today we're going to be reacting to the collected Miscenllany videos from Genshin Impact, and I'm super excited to dive in, man. And quick thing before I start, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Noctis Kyrios. I've been a singer here on YouTube for about 6 years. I've also been a Punishing Gray Raven player for about 2.5 years now, almost 3, so yeah. I'm super excited to see these sort of videos on their gameplay and their tutorials and how their mechanics are explained and stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let's go. Venti, Skyward Sonnet.
A mysterious bard named Venti has recently appeared in the world, singing tales for the city of freedom and romance. This city is Mondstadt, the crown of the north.
Ah, yes.
A free nation with no ruler. This once bitter cold land in the north of Teyvat is now fertile. A blessing left by the god of Anemo, they say. 1,000 years have passed since the god of Anemo left this land.
Huh, okay.
But to me, it has only been half that time.
Come on, traveler. Let's
Okay.
go. The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered.
To him,
As an archer
okay,
with
to
the
the
power of
narrator.
Anemo, Venti can battle with ease in almost any environment. His versatile attack style and his ability to launch enemies with his elemental skill allow for a high amount of mobility in battle. His unique elemental burst can pull together nearby enemies,
Alright.
making him a strategic character who can both deal damage and control the battlefield.
Okay, so he's both the
When Venti is
a
in your
DPS
party,
and a controller.
gliding consumes less stamina for all characters.
Oh damn, that's
Needless to
nice.
say, this skill will come in handy on your adventures. Take Venti along when exploring the beautiful open world. Normal attacks can perform up to 6 consecutive shots. The first and fourth shots can fire an extra arrow, while the 6th shot deals greater damage. Hold the attack button to use a more powerful aimed shot. When fully charged, an Anemo-infused arrow is fired, and deals even more damage to the enemy. Call upon the wind on which hymns and songs fly, to lift your enemies up into the sky. When you use the elemental skill Skyward Sonnet, Venti summons a wind domain at the enemy's location, dealing area of effect Anemo damage. Enemies are launched into the air and fall slowly to the ground. Hold Skyward Sonnet to summon an even larger wind domain around Venti, dealing greater area of effect damage and launching enemies into the air. Venti also uses this powerful wind to fly high into the air. Adept use of this skill not only allows you to attack enemies, but also dodge attacks and move around the environment.
Okay.
If the opportunity presents itself, you can also use a plunging attack from above. Wind domains can even be utilized to help you get around. If the opportunity presents itself, you can also use a plunging attack from above. Wind domains can even be utilized to help you get around.
Okay, that's super useful, man. I won't lie, that's super
After
useful.
unlocking the talent Embrace of Winds, holding Skyward Sonnet will also create a temporary upcurrent as you fly into the air.
Okay.
By firing an arrow infused with coalesced winds, Venti creates a fierce storm that sucks in surrounding enemies and deals Anemo damage. Contact with hydro, pyro, cryo, or electro elements causes the storm to absorb that element and deal additional elemental damage.
Yo, that seems pretty
can only
good.
absorb one element each time. After unlocking the talent Storm Eye, Venti's energy will be replenished at the end of Wind's Grand Ode. If an element was absorbed, the energy of party members of that element will also be replenished.
Okay.
Even though Venti is more than capable of handling different obstacles in battle, strategic party selection and teamwork can help you maximize Venti's abilities. First, use Divine Archery to attack enemies from afar and whittle away at their health. Use Skyward Sonnet to launch dangerous enemies into the air. Gather up energy to prepare for the final attack. When your energy is full, unleash your elemental burst. Wind's Grand Ode sucks the enemies in and deals animo damage. Use another element on enemies in the storm to generate a swirl reaction.
Okay.
Then use another compatible element to cause an elemental reaction. Causing another elemental reaction brings the battle to a swift end.
Okay then.
As we all know, poetry and language flow like the wind. Venti captures this spirit in his ballads. Flora and fauna he sings of seem to have a life of their own, and transport us to the moon and the stars. This self-proclaimed best bard of the mortal world gets his strength, his unwithering inspiration, from the wind.
Yeah.
But what Venti seeks in life is not eternal fame for his ballads. Rather, he'd be happy with a cup of wine and a lyre to sing the marvelous stories of the world. Yes, that would make Venti the Bard very content indeed.
Damn, he seems pretty useful, I won't lie. He seems pretty damn useful in a multitude of ways, IMO. Especially with the whole wind, creating a wind current stuff. He seems like he'd be a pretty useful person to have around when exploring. But yeah, pretty cute trailer. I think I understand the gameplay loop with him. Okay. Love his animations too. I like the focus on the wind stuff as well. Not really a fan of the childish design, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Diluc, Dawn. Let's go.
As the Dawn Winery's owner, Diluc dominates Mondstadt's alcohol industry. Wealth and information are at his fingertips.
So he's a winery owner. Okay.
Modest and refined, yet quick to act whenever Mondstadt faces a crisis.
Oh yeah, I think I've already met this guy.
This path? How very curious.
There must be those who dare to pierce the darkness with their light.
As one who wields pyro and a claymore, has perfected the art of violence. And
oh, so he's a claymore user. Okay. Oh yeah, he is a claymore user.
With his powerful skills, Diluc causes massive damage with ease, and crushes all his foes with fearsome, ruthless strikes. Born a noble, Diluc is well versed in all things swords.
Okay.
With his guidance, no metal ore is wasted in their making. When forging claymores, Diluc recovers a set percentage of the ores used, aiding greatly in your adventure.
Okay, so he helps with crafting and
stuff.
stuff.
Up
okay.
to 4 consecutive strikes, with the 4th strike launching enemies. Holding the attack button constantly consumes Diluc's stamina to launch swift consecutive attacks, dealing increased physical damage to nearby enemies, and unleashing an extra powerful attack at the end that launches enemies.
Okay, dope.
Use this wisely to scatter enemy groups and defeat shielded foes. Unlocking the talent Relentless decreases Diluc's charged attack stamina consumption and increases its maximum duration. Use his fierce attacks to defeat those before you. Using the elemental skill Searing Onslaught, Diluc strikes with his claymore, dealing pyro damage. This can be done 3 times in a row, with a short window of time to connect each strike. But pay attention. This skill enters cooldown if the next strike is not activated in a short period of time. Using Searing Onslaught in concert with normal attacks allows you to deal constant damage to enemies, while remaining evasive and mobile. Additionally, since this skill deals pyro damage, Diluc can form combinations with other characters, using elemental reactions to deal greater damage.
Your verdict is?
Surrounding himself in flames, Diluc knocks nearby enemies back, before gathering the flames into his
that
blade
animation
and
looks
launching a
dope.
phoenix, dealing massive pyro damage to enemies in its path. Diluc's normal and charged attacks will also deal pyro damage for a period of time. Dawn has a very large hitbox, allowing it to not only strike airborne foes, but also forcibly reposition enemies to an extent, making it very strong against groups. The pyro damage conversion that Dawn provides further strengthens Diluc's attacks. Unlocking the Blessing of Phoenix talent increases the duration of Dawn's pyro damage conversion, and gives Diluc a pyro damage bonus. Diluc is, without question, a well-honed warrior, who efficiently deals with any task. Now, please witness him in action.
Alright.
He begins suppressing the target with normal attacks, combining it with his elemental skill to deal great pyro damage to the enemy. He weaves between these two attack modes to suppress the foe more quickly, while building up elemental energy. He uses his elemental burst once his energy is full, followed by attacks enhanced by Blessing of Phoenix, defeating the enemy flawlessly.
Alright.
Diluc's explosive, ruthless fighting style and his aloof manner are all admirable traits. But if the disaster from 5 centuries ago were to happen again, if he were to face the same evil that I once did, would he still hold fast to his resolve?
The same
This,
evil
too,
that he once
makes me
did, okay.
most curious indeed.
Damn, okay. Okay. That's interesting. I won't lie. That's very interesting what he said there. And honestly, what I've seen from Diluc's gameplay, I kind of like it, but I'll be honest, it's not the first thing I would go to. Because it does look like his gameplay is a bit on the slower side, so I'm more accustomed to sort of a faster paced combat. I'll be honest, not my favorite character, gameplay wise, I've seen, but he's still but I still understand if people like him. But yeah, just interesting stuff, man. Let's move on to the next one. Klee, Jumpy Dumpty. Let's go.
There are many remarkable people in Mondstadt's Knights of Favonius. Among them is a small knight who raised Stormbearer Mountains flat, and whose name has recently become commonplace both within Mondstadt and beyond. When it comes to Spark Knight Klee, there are rumors aplenty. Interestingly, those telling these rumors do so with a smirk and a shake of their heads, joking that even Mondstadt's fish have learned to swim away when they see her.
Can I come play with you today? Please? I want to go on an adventure.
Well known as the Spark Knight, Klee is able to deal continuous pyro damage with her childlike glee and a pack and pockets full of bombs. But watch out, as anything near her may be turned to ash in a fiery explosion. Klee loves adventures and is adept at expeditions and gathering. Not only does she know the locations of Mondstadt's unique flora, she may also know where to find a treasure or two. When
she's
Klee
good for
is on your
expeditions,
team,
okay.
the location of items unique to Mondstadt will appear on your minimap. When it comes to anything explosive, Klee simply can't control her enthusiasm. Klee's normal attack performs up to 3 consecutive explosive attacks that deal AoE pyro damage. Holding the attack button consumes a certain amount of stamina, and after a short casting time blasts enemies, dealing AoE pyro damage. When Klee is up high, her charged attack can reach enemies even farther away. Also,
that's useful.
Klee's normal and charged attacks are especially effective against geo-targets, making them ideal against enemies with geo-shields, and for quickly mining ore.
Okay.
After unlocking the
she seems to be
Sparkling
super useful.
Burst, when Klee's charged attack lands a critical hit, some energy will be restored for all party members. Use Klee's elemental skill to toss Jumpy Dumpty. Jumpy Dumpty will bounce 3 times, each bounce causing an explosion that deals AoE pyro damage. On the 3rd bounce, Jumpy Dumpty will burst into mines. These explode upon contact with enemies or after a short time, dealing AoE pyro damage.
That's
Jumpy
useful.
Dumpty will automatically recharge over time to up to 2 charges. It is effective in dealing with groups of enemies. After Jumpy Dumpty explodes, switch characters and pull enemies together to take advantage of the mines and deal a lot of damage to enemies.
Okay.
After unlocking the talent Pounding Surprise, when Jumpy Dumpty and normal attacks deal damage, Klee has a chance to obtain an explosive spark. When Klee has an explosive spark, instead of consuming stamina, her next charged attack will expend the spark instead and deal increased damage.
Okay.
Klee's Blazing Delight, Sparks and Splash, continuously attacks nearby enemies for the duration of the skill, dealing AoE pyro damage. Sparks and Splash has high damage and attack rate, empowering Klee to deal immense damage while on the battlefield. Klee is able to continuously dish out strong pyro attacks, earning her a role as the firepower of your party. Next, let's look at a battle to experience Klee's incredible destructive capability. In battle, Klee can use her elemental skill and normal attacks to repeatedly activate the effect of the talent Pounding Surprise, and use charged attacks to suppress enemies.
Okay.
When her energy is full, unleash
So
an
she's
elemental
mainly
burst
focusing on
to further
DPS,
increase her
okay.
ability to deal damage. After this, Klee can have fun causing explosions, spreading flames in every direction, and burning enemies to a crisp.
So she's basically more so
When the
all-out
people of
DPS,
Mondstadt talk
okay.
about their home, they proudly call it the City of Wind, Dandelions, and Freedom. Perhaps it was Mondstadt's atmosphere of freedom that led the famous adventurer Alice to entrust her daughter Klee to the care of the Knights of Favonius. With this freedom, Klee has had a happy and unrestrained childhood, but all baby birds must leave the nest someday. Hopefully, our little Spark Knight will remain just as happy-go-lucky when that day comes, and keep smiling all the way.
Agreed. Agreed. Man, she's super cute, and honestly, she seems pretty good, I won't lie. She seems pretty good gameplay-wise, and damage-wise, and mechanics-wise. I like her. I like her bomb mechanic. Seems really interesting, and pretty simple to use, I would say. I like it. She's just very cute, man. Anyways, let's move on to the next video. Jean, Guiding Breeze.
When Grandmaster Varka of Mondstadt's Knights of Favonius left on an expedition, his role passed to Jean, the eldest daughter of House Gunhildr. The young acting Grandmaster had become a skilled swordsman through hard work, and works harder still for the sake of the Knights.
I like her design.
After all, is the Dandelion Knight's path.
Oh
As
yeah?
the wind continues to blow, so too shall I continue to fight.
Jean
She
has
seems
excellent crowd
reminds me of
control and
Saber, I
support
won't lie.
abilities, and can act in concert with others to suppress the enemy. Jean's elemental burst can instantly restore her health, and benefit her allies as well, making her the pillar of any team. Even when cooking,
Okay.
Jean is always concerned with helping others, and can accidentally make extra helpings. When Jean cooks a restorative dish perfectly, she has a chance to create 2 of them. All the better to face the battles ahead.
Okay.
Jean can perform up to 5 consecutive normal attacks, dealing physical damage to enemies. Holding the attack button consumes a set amount of stamina, and unleashes a wind-infused thrust that deals high physical damage and launches enemies. Launched enemies will fall slowly for a short time, allowing Jean to control the flow of battle, and give her teammates a chance to perform follow-up attacks more safely.
Okay.
Unlocking the talent Wind Companion gives Jean's normal attacks a chance to heal all party members on hit. This healing scales with Jean's attack power. Tapping her elemental skill Gale Blade causes Jean to gather formless wind on her sword and unleash a small storm, launching enemies in the direction Jean is aiming, dealing animo damage.
Yeet.
Holding Gale Blade constantly consumes Jean's stamina,
AKA
pulling
basically
nearby
eating
enemies
them.
in front of her, and allowing her to adjust the direction in which she wishes to launch them,
Nice.
dealing animo damage. Enemies launched by Gale Blade will remain clumped together when they fall, making follow-up attacks easier. Gale Blade is a very flexible ability. Strategic use of the surrounding terrain will often amplify its effects.
Wait,
Nice.
hear me.
Calling upon the wind's protection, Jean creates a dandelion field, knocking nearby enemies back and dealing anemo damage. The field also quickly heals nearby allies and all party members. This healing scales with Jean's attack power. The dandelion field continuously heals characters within it, infusing them with anemo, while dealing anemo damage to enemies who enter or leave the field. Once the talent Let the Wind Lead is unlocked, using Dandelion Field will regenerate some additional elemental energy. Jean can help her team take charge, aid in their attacks, and do great damage through skillful use of her abilities. A well-rounded fighter indeed. Start the battle by using her elemental skill, mop up nearby enemy groups, and build elemental energy. Then use her charged attack to disrupt their movements, allowing your party members to switch in, attack, and deal damage. When your party members have taken significant damage, use her elemental burst at the opportune moment to repel enemies and regenerate your team's health before beginning the next round of attacks to finish the fight. Though Jean may lack experience, Mondstadt has only prospered since she assumed Varka's great responsibilities. Even I, who has seen countless people, must respect her desire to always defend Mondstadt. But unlike most who bear great burdens, this young knight has remained as tenacious as ever. How was her will molded, and what sustains her edge such that it never wears down? If fate wills it, I will find the answer to these questions.
Alright. Jean, honestly, I like her. I like her. I like that she can heal on hit. I like that she can heal on hit. I think that could be very useful if you're not trying to run like a healer type of character, I feel. I also like the way that she wields her sword as sort of like a rapier as well. It really is, the way it's being wielded is very much European, as rapiers and like fencing and stuff is very European, as that is very much a popular sport in Europe. So yeah, I like her. She does although I will admit, Jean's design kind of reminds me a bit of Saber from Fate. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if it's just me seeing that, but yeah. Other than that, I like her, and I'm interested to see more of her character in the coming story. Anyways, let's move on to the next trailer. Qiqi, Fortune-Preserving Talisman. Let's go.
Few and far. Children as special as Qiqi are few and far between.
Qiqi, my bad. Fuck.
As a zombie,
keep messing it up.
Time has no effect on her, but she has difficulty committing things to memory. For Qiqi, perhaps this is a good thing. She can forget her past and be an herb gatherer at Boo Boo Pharmacy. But those who underestimate her just for being a child do so at their peril.
I am Qiqi. I am a zombie. And I forgot what comes next.
With her mastery over cryo, Qiqi is a powerful asset to your team. Despite her size, she has the strength to protect others. With Qiqi by your side, you will always feel safe. When gathering herbs, she always knows where to find them, because she always carries a notebook with her.
Oh, she's kind of like a healer, okay.
Lest she go out and become completely lost. With Qiqi on your team, the mini-map will show areas where plants unique to Diluc grow, making it easier to gather certain resources. Qiqi's normal attack can combo up to 5 slashes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Holding the attack button consumes a set amount of stamina, and releases a 2-slash flurry, dealing high physical damage. Using Qiqi's elemental skill, Herald of Frost, deals cryo damage to surrounding enemies. Herald of Frost moves with the character, dealing damage along the way, while also healing the current character periodically.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely useful.
While Herald of Frost is active, normal and charged attack hits heal the entire party and nearby allies, by a set amount based on Qiqi's attack power.
Okay, she's definitely going to be
Increase
useful.
the team's endurance, it also allows you to dominate the enemy when paired with Hydro. This skill is also useful during exploration. Using it to freeze water surfaces is a sound strategy for conserving stamina. After unlocking the talent Life-Prolonging Methods, when a character under the influence of Adeptus Art Herald of Frost triggers an elemental reaction, incoming healing is increased.
Sacred name.
Nice.
Fortune Preserver.
When Qiqi releases the adeptal power sealed inside herself, she marks nearby enemies with a fortune-preserving talisman and deals cryo damage to them. When enemies marked with fortune-preserving talismans take damage, the character dealing the damage is healed. By choosing an opportune moment to use Adeptus Art Preserver of Fortune, the whole team can be protected while dishing out damage. After unlocking the talent A Glimpse into Arcanum, normal and charged attack hits have a chance to tag enemies with a fortune-preserving talisman, once per set time period. Qiqi has the ability to constantly heal, an excellent safeguard that helps keep your team alive. The more difficult the battle, the more apparent Qiqi's assistance becomes. When entering battle, first use Herald of Frost to allow your team to deal constant cryo damage, and easily trigger elemental reactions for greater damage. The effects of Herald of Frost will keep your team fighting fit, until the right moment comes to unleash an elemental burst, allowing your team to safely unleash all the firepower they've got.
Alright.
As a zombie,
Damn.
Qiqi
I feel
has
like she's
escaped the
kind of,
grip
she
both
sort of must
time
have.
and death. How Qiqi entered this state of existence, I do not know, but I doubt it was of her own volition. Are the heavenly principles toying with her, or is fate seeking to torture her? Is an ordinary life of simple pleasures really a thing so fragile?
Damn. That's kind of sad, man. Yeah, dude, that's kind of sad. Her story seems kind of sad. That's kind of true, man. Although, yeah, from what I've seen, she almost seems like a must-have, honestly. Like, especially as a healer type of deal. Because she seems really useful, man. Really, really useful in a party. I can say that. Especially for people who aren't exactly great at dodging. She definitely seems like a must-have for those kinds of people. Anyways, just great stuff. Yeah, let's move on to the next video then. Mona, Stellaris Phantasm.
The stars illuminate all mortal destinies, though few have eyes to perceive their meaning. But Mona, an astrologist newly arrived in Mondstadt, is able to read the fates of others through stars reflected in the water. But while no phenomenon is hidden from the astrologist Mona, she struggles often with the minutiae of daily life. It is a most common predicament. The more you seek truth, the more simple joys elude you.
This was ordained by fate. Long had I foreseen it.
Mona has skill that matches her reputation. As a hydro-aligned catalyst user, she masters the battlefield with ease, controlling the situation and creating openings for her teammates to attack. As a student of all things in and under the night sky, Mona also has a strong grasp of weapon construction. In truth, she finds that most weapons are wastefully made. When she crafts weapon ascension materials, she has a chance to recover a portion of the materials used.
Oh, okay.
Mona's normal attack performs up
That'll
to 4
definitely be
strikes
useful.
that deal hydro damage. Holding the attack button consumes a set amount of stamina, and deals area of effect hydro damage after a short casting time. Mona creates a phantom of fate from coalesced water. This phantom taunts nearby enemies and deals continuous hydro damage to them.
That's super
The phantom
cute.
explodes when its duration expires, dealing area of effect hydro damage to enemies. Holding the elemental skill button causes Mona to ride a flow of water backwards and summon her phantom. This skill has many applications. The Phantom can be used to taunt enemies, making them wet and priming them for attacks from Mona's allies. It can also help her out of a pinch. When Mona sprints, she cloaks herself in flowing water, consuming stamina to move rapidly.
Okay.
Ending this skill causes Mona to emerge, getting nearby enemies wet.
Hey,
Illusory
nice.
Torrent also allows Mona to travel swiftly over water. Once her first passive talent is unlocked, Mona can create a phantom automatically, if she maintains this skill for a certain period of time with an enemy nearby.
Nice.
Fate is upon you.
Mona
that
summons
animation looks
sparkling
dope.
waves and creates a reflection of the starry sky, applying the wet and illusory bubble statuses onto all enemies in the area. When affected by illusory bubble, weaker enemies will be imprisoned and unable to move. Attacking imprisoned enemies removes that status from them, and deals an instance of hydro damage. When the status is cleared, the enemy comes under an omen. Enemies affected by an omen take more damage. On the ever-changing battlefield, Mona's capacity for control cannot be overlooked. This astrologist aids her team at critical moments, controlling the field and maximizing her teammates' damage. As the battle begins, she first summons a phantom. It taunts enemies and lets her switch out, using the opening created to cooperate with her teammates and deal massive damage to enemies. She uses these combined techniques to control enemies, allowing the party to damage them safely.
Nice.
Once the time is right, she uses her elemental burst to entrap enemies and attacks them to trigger damage bonus effects. This way, she can defeat the weakened enemies before her, all in good time.
Okay.
Mona's hydromancy is indeed unique. No one can deny her intelligence and talent. Within Mondstadt, there are few who possess the ability and a desire to seek truth equal to hers. But beware, O young seeker. You must sacrifice your all to unravel the world's secrets. Can the astrologist Mona truly bear such a burden?
Oh, damn. Okay. That's a bit ominous. That final two lines were a bit ominous. Were definitely a bit ominous. Although, to be honest, I honestly really like Mona's animations, man. Her animations look amazing. Like the particle effects on the water and stuff. And I think, her gameplay looks kind of fun. I don't know how she actually plays because I don't really have my hands on her yet and I can't really try her out, but I honestly want to give Mona a go and see how she actually plays in my hands. I like it. Oh, so she looks cute too, man. Love her outfit and all that, and the color scheme and stuff. And she seems like a bit of an interesting character as well. I can't wait until I meet her in the story and in the game. So yeah, I think that's all. So let's move on to the next one. Keqing, Star Ward Sword.
Everyone in Liyue knows it is Rex Lapis who protects their borders. But the city's daily affairs are run by the Qiqing. As Yuheng of the Qiqing, Keqing acts decisively and pragmatically, knowing
Keqing.
every inch of Liyue like the back of her hand. Yet as a representative of the mortals of Liyue, she has much to say about Rex Lapis's unilateral governance.
We live in an era of change, as the old order that has existed for 1,000 years is about to be rewritten.
Within the Qiqing, Keqing is one for action. Ruthless efficiency is her modus operandi. Like her personality, her sword work is both swift and uncompromising. This, along with her control of Electro, brings a shockingly abrupt end to any enemy. Keqing could not be more familiar with Liyue. Even on long journeys, she always finds a swift route back home. If dispatched on an expedition in Liyue, she will complete it more quickly than most. Keqing can unleash a combo of up to 5 normal attacks, her final strike allowing her to pass
Yo,
through
okay.
enemies. Yunlai swordsmanship is both offensive and defensive, offering a way to dodge some attacks and strike back from a better angle. Hold the attack button to consume stamina, and release a 2/ flurry, dealing high physical damage.
Alright, okay.
Tap Keqing's elemental skill Stellar Restoration to throw a lightning stiletto, which deals electro damage to enemies in a small area upon impact, and leaves behind a lightning stiletto marker. If Keqing uses Stellar Restoration again while the marker is still present, she flies to the marker and performs a quick slash, dealing electro AoE damage.
She seems fun.
Holding Stellar Restoration allows Keqing to aim the lightning stiletto before releasing it. Adept use of the lightning stiletto produces various results. With the lightning stiletto, Keqing can flash into battle and attack from the best position. The lightning stiletto can also be used in exploration to navigate challenging terrain. Keqing can also clear the lightning stiletto with a charged attack, causing a slashing thunderstorm that deals electro AoE damage at its location. Deft use of this skill allows Keqing to creatively deal ranged damage. After unlocking the talent Thundering Penance, using Stellar Restoration while the lightning stiletto is present converts Keqing's normal and charged attacks to electro damage for a short time.
Cut to the chase!
Okay.
Keqing unleashes her electro power, causing electro AoE
Yo,
damage.
this looks dope.
Hiding behind the shadow of her sword, she relentlessly slashes surrounding enemies at lightning speed.
Yeah, her ult looks crazy,
dealing
dude.
multiple rounds of damage, with a final burst of electro AoE damage at the end. After unlocking the talent Aristocratic Dignity, casting Starward Sword increases Keqing's crit rate and energy recharge for a period of time. Light on her feet and leaving no shadow, Keqing is a sharp addition to any team. Groups of enemies or single opponents are no match for a well-executed combination of her skills. Keqing cuts them all down with ease. The key to combat with Keqing is mastery of the lightning stiletto. First, use her elemental skill to place the stiletto. Then, use her elemental skill again to zip into battle and strike quickly.
Alright.
Follow up with more electro damage, using her elemental skill to suppress the enemy. And continue to use the lightning stiletto at opportune moments to frequently move and attack.
Alright.
Keep up the offensive to rapidly accumulate energy. Once full, it is time to unleash Starward Sword and bring the fight to a perfect end.
Nice.
Human history is to be written by the people. Even without the protection of the gods, Liyue would flourish as always. This is Keqing's belief. This desire to take fate into her own hands. I remember this feeling. Will she be able to bring her vision to life? To protect this land she calls home? In the hands of the Keqing, where is Liyue headed? The road ahead is unclear, but we shall wait and see.
Yo, she seems pretty dope. Like, her animations look amazing. Like, real good, man. Real great animations. Especially on her ult. I really love her ult animation. That's really cool. With the whole cutting back and forth and also being able to... And I love how she can just like teleport to like a mark, like when throwing it out. That's awesome. And I love that she can cut through, like she goes through enemies, like in like her normal attack animations. I love that. Her design is pretty cool too. I like it. Love the twin tails, love the color palette, everything about it, just love it. Anyways, let's move on to the next video. Yeah, I think this will be the last video for this last Miscenllany for this video. So, yeah, thank you. This is gonna be the last one. Super excited to see his gameplay. Childa, Foul Legacy. Let's go.
The Fatui from Miscenllany are known to make waves wherever they go in Tevat, and Tartaglia is a driving force within them. Of the 11 harbingers, 10 concern themselves with clandestine operations.
Okay.
Tartaglia is the sole exception. Rather than lure his enemies into a trap, he prefers to face them head-on in one-on-one combat.
The wind
Okay.
is picking up. There's conflict in the air.
His reputation precedes him. Child is known far and wide as a
Child.
fearsome
Fuck.
warrior.
Why do you keep
Well-versed
botching his
in a
name?
variety of fighting forms. He can switch stances at will, and has 2
Oh,
distinct modes of attack
okay.
at his disposal. When Tartaglia
Stance
is in your
switcher,
party,
okay.
all characters' normal attacks gain 1 level, dealing increased damage as a result. Tartaglia is weakest with a bow, so he chooses to use one precisely to overcome this weakness. His normal attack can combo up to 6 consecutive shots. Charging the attack executes a more precise shot that deals increased damage.
Okay.
While aiming, hydro energy accumulates on the arrowhead. A fully charged arrow will deal hydro damage to enemies on impact, and also apply the Riptide status to them.
Okay.
When an enemy is affected by Riptide, further hits from Tartaglia's fully charged arrows deal multiple bouts of area of effect hydro damage. Also, when Tartaglia defeats an enemy affected by Riptide, it causes a hydro burst, which applies the Riptide status to nearby enemies. Unlocking the talent Never Ending extends the duration of Riptide. Faced with a strong foe, Tartaglia will reveal his true might. When he casts his elemental skill, he summons weaponry fashioned from pure hydro.
Oh,
dealing
damn,
hydro damage
okay.
to surrounding enemies in the process, and
Yo, that
also
looks
switches
dope,
to his
I won't
melee
lie.
stance. In this stance, his normal attack now combos up to 6 consecutive hydro slashes.
Oh, dude, I love that.
Charging the attack consumes stamina and releases a 2-slash flurry, dealing hydro damage. In melee stance, when Tartaglia strikes an enemy affected by Riptide, he deals area of effect hydro damage. Tartaglia exits melee stance when his elemental skill is cast again, or after a certain time has elapsed. He
Okay.
then returns to his ranged stance, and his elemental skill enters cooldown.
Alright.
The longer Tartaglia spends in melee stance, the longer the cooldown time. After
Okay, so he's
unlocking
a
the
stance
talent Sword
switcher.
of Torrents, when in melee stance, if Tartaglia deals a critical hit, the Riptide status is
Yo,
applied
this
to
looks
the enemy.
dope.
Depending on Tartaglia's stance, his elemental burst will unleash one of 2 different attacks.
Riptide!
Okay.
In ranged stance, Tartaglia swiftly fires a hydro-imbued magic arrow ahead of him, which deals area of effect hydro damage, and also applies the Riptide status to enemies. Afterwards, Tartaglia regains some of his spent energy.
Shouldn't let your guard down.
In melee stance, Tartaglia performs a slashing attack with a wide area of effect, dealing substantial hydro damage to all surrounding enemies.
Okay, that
And
looks
if the elemental
awesome.
burst hits an enemy affected by Riptide, the Riptide effect will be consumed in a hydro explosion, which deals area of effect hydro damage. Tartaglia is a formidable warrior who lives for the heat of battle. He chooses his moments to attack and retreat, and is tactical when selecting his mode of attack. This is what makes him so powerful. Faced with a single opponent, start by firing at them from a distance to apply the Riptide status. Then, enter melee stance and go in for the kill.
Hey,
Use fast
let's
and
go.
frequent attacks to trigger Riptide effects and deal immense damage. Against groups of enemies, build up energy in advance, and unleash an elemental burst in ranged stance to apply the Riptide status to the group. Then enter melee stance and attack the enemies affected by Riptide, hacking away at their health, while also restoring Tartaglia's energy. Wait for an opportune moment to unleash another elemental burst and take them all out in one go. bringing the
Yo.
battle to a clear-cut conclusion.
His gameplay looks smooth,
Few
especially
know
in
where
melee
Tartaglia
stance.
acquired his fighting skills before becoming a harbinger. Nor do many know where his lust for combat originates. There is a dangerous secret to the martial legacy he inherits, but it is one that even he himself does not fully understand. Since becoming a Fatui harbinger, fighting for the Tsaritsa is his new motivation as a warrior. Child is the Tsaritsa's weapon of war, and he stands for the might of Snezhnaya. An icy storm is starting to blow towards the other nations. Brace yourselves. Tevat is about to get cold.
Yo. Okay. Alright. Pretty cool one to end off on. Pretty cool one to end off. I like it. He looks dope. I like his melee stance. His melee stance looks so fluid. I love it. Also, it's interesting that he uses a bow as well, and that he's also a stance switcher type of character. I like it. He looks awesome, man. Purely from gameplay standpoint, he looks awesome. And I'm super interested to see and dive more into his story, honestly. Child looks amazing. I think that's all I really have to say about him, honestly. He just looks very fluid for a bow user and a stance switcher. And I also love that he uses dual daggers / a polearm as well during his melee stance too. I love it. He honestly looks pretty fast and cool to play. And honestly, if there's a trial run, I'm definitely trying him out. Anyways, yeah. I think that's all I gotta say about him. Anyways, I think that's going to be the end of the video. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like on the video. And also, if you want to see more, please subscribe. And please let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments below. And remember to stay humble and be kind to people. And I'll see you guys later.